Greetings, everybody. Chris Overstreet, the Redneck Gaijin here. And here we have a fine little cutie, the Honda Acti. The Honda Acti is one of a class of vehicles in Japan called Kei cars, K-E-I cars, which are basically designed to be highly fuel economical and take up small space in cities at the cost of, well, practically everything else. It's a fun little mod to drive, but it does have some notable drawbacks, which we'll be looking at over the course of this. The whole point of this video is that I made a couple of videos with the Honda Acti a year and a half ago, and a few days ago, in the course of my doing stuff as a low-end admin for the Onid racing community, I heard somebody bring up the question of whether or not the K-Car pickup could be used in any simracing.gp races.
She's passed the details on to me. I need to contact the guy. Actually.
There is one thing I really want on an SGP.
Go.
It's that Honda K-Truck.
Oh, the Acti! I love the Acti, but the problem is the base mod has a fuel consumption issue that has to be manually tweaked. The original creator never got around to it, and the other mods are based on that one. So there's a huge tangle I don't think SGP wants to bother with.
So what's the problem with the fueling?
A vehicle that's supposed to get 45 miles to the gallon, in the mod gets 2.
Oh. Yeah,
So
that's
I think you have
problems.
to turn off fuel consumption. Or
As
Yeah.
in,
impossible
I
to
took
use.
the first time I took it around the Nordschleife, it ran out of fuel about 1/3 of my way through the flying lap.
Yeah.
My personal belief is that it's not going to happen, unfortunately, because again, this is a nice little car to drive. But there are good reasons, and I tried to point out some of them with the old videos, but the videos from a year and a half ago, well, they are very, very ropey. I've become a better driver since then. I don't need 80 level AI to race against, and I've become a better video editor as well, I hope. So I decided I was going to revisit the Honda Acti and put it through its paces, plus introduce a couple of variants on the mod that have come up since I found this. For this test, we've come to Bathurst, and the reason we're doing Bathurst is because this is where I put the Honda Acti on video for the first time. Well, technically no, the first time was on the Nordschleife, but I couldn't complete a flying lap on the Nordschleife because the single biggest glitch that this mod has is that the thing, well, I put it to you this way. The real-life Honda Acti gets about 45 miles to the gallon, give or take. This gets 2. As a result, it will just barely complete 4 laps, which is 16 kilometers, around Bathurst. Since then, I went into the mod and manually adjusted it so that on my computer at least, I can put the Honda Acti through full length or even endurance racing, the same as you would be able to, for example, the Ford Transit mod, which gets realistic mileage and has an enormous fuel tank, so it can drive for over an hour without needing a pit stop. Now, the thing about the Honda Acti is it is a pickup that's meant to be fuel efficient, which means it really is built to go city or country road speeds and no faster. The top end on this, in the best of circumstances, well, we're going to see that in a moment. It's rated for 130 kilometers per hour, which is, roughly speaking, about 80-ish in miles per hour. So we're going to see what we actually get when we get to the downhill portion of Mount Panorama here. Up. Okay, not great. The thing you'll notice is this has quite a bit of body roll to it. which makes it entertaining to drive, but it also means it's easy to lose control of the thing if you're not careful. Anyway, here we are on the downhill. Maximum velocity coming up. There's 130. 132. We peaked out at 132 on that run. I haven't driven this circuit in the Honda Acti in quite some time, so I'm still feeling things out as we're coming up for a flying lap. For certain values of flying, anyway. Damn it. The mountain on Mount Panorama is tricky no matter what. But the fact that this thing does like to get tail happy if you turn it too hard, and the weight shifts, the body roll issues, yeah, that is kind of an issue in and of itself. You have to be a little bit on the gentle side driving this thing. And across the line, even with that wreck, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Could probably get under 4 minutes if I don't screw it up on the mountaintop, and a really skilled person would probably get a 3:55 without too much difficulty. Hell, I've picked up a 1.5 seconds just by not screwing up the exit going onto the front straight. Ugh. Well, did get a 3:59, and I'm sure there's a lot more time to be found there. But for now, let me demonstrate something that's another reason why this probably would never make it on SGP. Under normal circumstances, this vehicle does not have traction control or ABS. However, let's go into the setup here. Under Realism, set traction control to on and ABS to on. Now the Honda does have traction control. I do have my wheels set up so I can turn traction control on and off, but I can't turn ABS on and off. And you'll see why that's important in just a moment. This is what it's like to go from a standing start with traction control on. Yeah, doesn't matter how much or how little input I put on the throttle, the traction control just clamps down and will not let me accelerate at all. Upshifting doesn't help. And as you see, we're really not gaining anything whatsoever. It just barely lets me move. So, turn traction control off, and here's the difference. I mean, it's not race car levels of acceleration by any means, but at least we are accelerating. Now, the ABS, I can't turn off with a push of a button, so this is what happens. I'm going to brake where the red part of the assist line begins. On the brakes, full force. And we come to a stop just past the slip road there. Reset traction control and ABS. Get back in. I'm going to do the same thing. Here we go, starting from more or less the same place that we started. And we started braking at the top end of fourth gear. Not upshifting from here, so we get an apples to apples comparison. Braking at where the red begins. And we are not even close to that slip road, are we? Now, the thing about the Honda Acti model is it's actually spurred a couple of variants. This one is the Honda Acti Drift mod, which has the same general top speed, but has different tires and has a bit quicker acceleration to it. And it handles somewhat the same up to a certain extent. But as you see, it suffers from the same problem with traction control. Okay, we're going a bit faster than we did with the other brake test. Let's see what happens. It's almost like we don't have brakes at all, you know? That actually was worse. But now the question is, how does this thing handle as opposed to the base model, and how much quicker is it around the track? Now, one thing you'll notice is that this thing is considerably more stable than the original Honda Acti. The body roll is pretty much gone. The suspension has been tightened up and firmed up, so that it makes a sound drifting platform. Now, I'm not going to attempt to demonstrate the driftability of this thing because I am shit at drifting cars, even in simulation. So, if I do any drifting, it'll be strictly accidental. Okay, first time down the mountain in the drift mod. And we're already 3 kilometers an hour faster than we peaked out, but that is 138 is the maximum for this thing. So for all practical purposes, this thing accelerates better than the base mod, but it's not that much actually faster. Less than 10 kilometers an hour, even taking into account its extra power. Here's our flyer. Let's see if I can not screw this up. Not enough brakes. But even so, I'm not going to worry about this being a quote-unquote invalid lap. This is good enough for government work. 332 aught as opposed to the 359 that we got in the base Honda. The base Acti, I mean. But wait, there is yet another Honda Acti variant. And this one is purely for the memes. This is what if the main character of a certain incredibly popular anime used a Honda Acti instead of a Toyota Celica or whatever to deliver tofu. This has more power, a higher top speed, but it's also a lot twitchier to handle, and I have little confidence that I'm going to be able to get through a flying lap without putting this in a wall someplace. But we're going to try anyway. Incidentally, this vehicle has the exact same problems with traction control and anti-lock braking systems that the other two versions do. The person who adapted the Honda Acti mod for this didn't change that any more than the creator of the Drift version did. Yeah, this thing can actually spin out off the line. Okay, remember, top speed in the previous ones was 135 to 139. We're already at 160, and this isn't the fast part of the track yet. Yeah. This thing does not really have the grip to cope with the amount of power it's putting down. Damn it. Yeah, we're already pretty well beat up, but we're going to keep going. The same as we did with the other two cars. 63, and we're hitting the rev limiter at 163 miles an hour. 163 kilometers per hour. Yeah. Yeah, got unstable when I downshifted there, under braking. This thing is a handful. The Honda Acti and even the Drift version can be handled by neophytes. Very easy. They're very easy to drive. This one kind of isn't. This one actually demands a measure of skill out of the driver, which I don't have. Okay. Now here's our flyer for honest and for true this time. Damn. But still, a 258, that's not too bad for only 3 laps around in the vehicle. And that makes it a minute. It's 25% faster around the track than the original Honda Acti mod. But the question is, have I pointed out the worst problems? Yes, this has control issues. And it's got the issue with traction control and ABS, which, if you want to make the vehicle available for people on low skill levels, that's something you'd have to work around. But there are a couple of reasons that are even more important why I don't think this is ever going to be accepted on simracing.gp, and I'll demonstrate those with a race. I'm going to drive the Honda Acti base mod, the one that I've modified so that it can go the 10 laps we're going to be making this race for. And we're going to put this thing up against the Ligier JS8 S1, the tuned, the really fast one, and also the drift mod. We're also going to throw in the Fiat Panda and the Ford Transit as things that are kind of sort of in the same speed class. And just to make things clear, I'm going to rank these according to the speeds that I think they're going to have. So, there. If I don't do this way, then the AI for Assetto Corsa will get backed up behind the Ligiers and stall and let me cut through the field and get an early advantage. It also makes for better video, but for this, I want to give you the actual breakdown of just where everything is on the track. And I will go ahead and start at the back. Incidentally, the gear ratios are fixed. For the base mod, you only have one choice of tire. Maximum fuel, 37 liters. There is apparently, according to this, some kind of arrow on the front. I think that's nothing to worry about so much. You can align the left front and right front, but you can't do anything with the rear wheels. And that's all you can modify on this car. Anyway, it's race time. The Ligiers have better acceleration, but their top end is only 90 kilometers an hour for the Sport S1 model. So we'll be able to put them behind us relatively quick. I didn't mention, but this is not the 80 AI that I raced against last time. This is 98 AI. I got used to driving the faster versions. Now I'm saying, faster, faster, go, 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 to this thing. Okay, we are now nose ahead of our fellow base model Honda Actis. And the next class ahead, the Fiat Pandas, are already 11 seconds up. And I'm pretty sure that they're just going to keep pulling away as we go, but we'll see. Now, I've put the 98 AI Honda Actis well behind me, the base models that is, but I'm still losing ground to everything else ahead. And you probably are going to be thinking that this is going to continue. And you're probably right, but let's see what happens. And oh look, the lead of the tuned Actis is about to pass me. About to lap me. The rest of them will be coming by in short order. But look, they're pitting. All of the modified Honda Actimods are pitting, and at least one of them, somebody has just retired. The reason the tuned Honda Actis are pitting, and the reason that the drift Honda Actis will also pit, is just like they shared the same problem with the traction control and the ABS, they also share the same glitch in fuel consumption. They are just as thirsty as the original unedited Honda Actimod is, which means 4 laps is all they can do. And then they are done. But yeah, the thing is, how many people are going to want to drive a car that has to pit every 15 minutes or less? Bear in mind that the tuned models do a 3-minute lap, and 4 minutes was all they could do. 12 minutes, and they're out of gas. Nobody would want to drive that for a competitive race. Okay, and who is this just now coming out of the pits? This is the tuned. I'll bet you anything, this is the tuned Actis right here. They're faster than us a little bit, but with that pitting every 4 or 5 laps, that almost makes up the difference between that and this modified, edited Honda Actimod. It's not enough for us to catch up with them, mind you, at least not immediately. That's interesting. They pitted again. The tuned Acties pitted again. And I passed 2 of them in the pits. I'm pretty sure they're going to overtake me given half a chance. But I hope not to give them that chance. I think we might actually engage in just a little bit of defending. Yes, we're going to fight like a lion. Oh! Okay. One of the tuned Acties appears to have just taken out one of the Ligiers. No, I don't think you are. Oh, he's sending it. He absolutely sent it up the inside. That made him back off a bit. Unfortunately, there's not much I'll be able to do here. This is as wide as I can make the car. And there he goes. And they're pitting again. The AI must be glitched on the pits because they're acting like they're only getting 1 lap's worth of fuel at a time. Now, leaving aside the jankiness of the AI for the Honda Acties, which, well, that's kind of typical for most AI for Assetto Corsa. Another reason why I don't think this will be adopted for SGP, despite the fact that I really would like it to be so, is the fact that, well, its niche as a slow but fun car is already taken up by the 2 classes ahead of me. The Fiat Panda and the Ford Transit mods are both slightly faster than this, and as easy and fun as this is to drive, both of those are a little bit more fun to drive. So with those for the faster ones and the Ligier for the really slow races, there's not that much of a slot left to plunk this cute little truck into. Just like there wasn't a slot there. Well, let's see if the AI still keep doing splash and dashes, or if they had... I don't think they had time to get full fuel loads. On the other hand, are we going to get double lapped by the tuned mods. Pretty sure that's the first of the tuned mods coming up behind me. But if my calculations are correct, they're going to have to pit again very soon. Like this lap soon. I'll just stay out here. Yield him the position. And let's watch him. Can he go the distance? This will be the last lap if he stays out. He stays out. Okay. But the tunes go in. And meanwhile, there is a small chance that we'll actually be able to lap the Ligiers in this race. Stay tuned, sports fans. Incidentally, I'm pretty sure the Ligiers had to pit as well. Ligier can only go about 25 minutes, give or take. Maybe if there's plenty of straights, 30 on the outside, but not much more than that on the tires or the fuel. Oh, hello. Well, we're not staying ahead of the drift acties. But we did lap one Ligier. That's something. Oh, and this behind us is a tuned, not a drift. There you go. All right, let's have a look at these timetables here. And let's see here. The 4 tuned acties each came in well under 3 minutes. I think they beat my time pretty easily. Because the AI has better control than I do, so that's not a great surprise. Then you have the 4 transits. And after that, the Fiat Pandas, as you would expect. And after that, the drift acties, with me just kind of thrown in there as grit. And then finally, the regular acties and the Ligiers, with 2 Ligiers and a tuned actie not finishing the race. But let's go ahead and do this one more time, just 2 laps, so we don't have to worry about pit stops or anything. And while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and give you the single biggest reason why you'll almost certainly never see any of these 3 listed on simracing.gp for online racing. Now, obviously the Honda Actimod has bugs in it. But what's already been done with it, the detailing of all this, and the fact that it is a very easy and yet very fun car to drive, is still astounding. However, SimRacing.gp has some rules as to which mods they do and don't use on their service. The mod cannot be derivative of anything somebody else, like for example Kunos, the makers of Assetto Corsa, or Forza, or anybody else has already done. And they have to have the permission of the person who made the mod. Now, so far as I know, the Honda Acti is completely original work. From the ground up, nothing borrowed, including all the detailing and the body modeling, what have you. The problem is the most recent version of the mod is the 0.9, and it hasn't been updated in something like 4 or 5 years. And so far as I'm able to tell, the original creator of the mod has gone no contact. I can't find them. So without getting their permission, I can't even propose the Honda Acti be added to SimRacing.gp, even if all of the other obstacles were overcome. And as fun and as cute as this car is, that is the main reason why you're almost certainly never going to see a race on SimRacing.gp with this mod. Very sad, but that's the way I think it is. Thanks for watching, everybody. More silliness another time, but until then, take it easy.